Have you noticed how quickly your resolve melts when tears appear? How your standards wobble? How a clean decision suddenly feels cruel? You begin defending yourself against feelings instead of evaluating facts. Your day becomes a courtroom, your conscience the defendant, the charge an undefined harm. Friedrich Nietzsche would tell you what just happened. The frame shifted from action to accusation, from outcomes to optics. Tears can be honest pain, and often are, but they can also be a tactic, the most efficient way to move a man who has been trained to read pity as law. This is a warning about a mechanism. When emotion becomes veto power, will collapses, truth turns theatrical, and responsibility is reassigned to the softest signal in the room. Nietzsche separates pathos from power. Pathos, the felt surge of suffering, is real. Power is what that surge can do in a room. When tears appear, the moral altitude tilts. The one who cries is presumed harmed. The one who holds a line is presumed harsh. The debate no longer concerns what is true, but how dare you. This is the first trick of emotional warfare. Relocate the standard. You become responsible for atmospheres you didn't create, and the measure of your goodness becomes your willingness to abandon the decision you just made. This frame change works because it recruits your best parts. The part that protects, the part that cannot abide cruelty, the part that carries guilt as cheaply as breath. Nietzsche's warning is not to harden your heart. It is to guard the standard. When the standard is results, you can check them. When the standard is how someone feels right now, you cannot. You will chase comfort until your bones creak, and the moment comfort returns, the underlying pattern remains, waiting for the next veto. Ask different questions. What happened, not how loudly did it hurt? What was agreed, not how artfully can it be reframed? What rule governs both of us, not what exception rescues this moment from consequence? If the answers are attacked as unfeeling, you have learned the second trick. Turn measurement into meanness. Nietzsche expects this. He simply refuses to let compassion sit in the judge's chair. Compassion sits beside you. The law sits before you. Switch their seats and you will run a theater. This is not a male-female essence claim. Men cry. Women cry. Anyone can mobilize tears honestly or tactically. But heterosexual romance is the arena where many men are most vulnerable to the optic shift, because they have been taught that the height of goodness is to be safe. Safety becomes permission for others to escape evaluation. The cure is not suspicion, it is procedure. Decide, then be kind. Do not be kind to avoid deciding. You will be called cold for asking to count behaviors when eyes are wet. Hear the accusation and still count. If harm happened, repair with speed. If standards held and feelings surged, comfort without erasing the standard. This is the only way to keep love from becoming a tribunal. Tears can inform your mercy. They cannot write your law. Nietzsche's analysis of ressentiment explains why tears can become a lever. The powerless moralize their position into a higher ground. In romance, injury often outranks responsibility. The one who appears wounded acquires jurisdiction. The one who speaks of limits is tried for cruelty. Once that inversion takes hold, reality leaves. You are not evaluating acts. You are arranging absolution. Here the instruments multiply. Pity becomes an injunction. If you loved me, you wouldn't hold that line. Guilt becomes a tithe. A good man would prioritize my feeling over this principle. Shame becomes a chorus. Real men don't talk like that. The point is not to heal, but to depose the standard and enthrone mood. Nietzsche would have you see the economy, not the costume. If every tear buys exemption, the incentives are clear. Patterns will trend toward whatever yields the exemption most cheaply. Counter this without cruelty. Reposition innocence. Innocence is not the absence of tears. It is the absence of willful patterns that harm. A person can cry and still be accountable. You can be moved and still be exact. The sentence that saves both of you is simple. I believe your pain. The rule stands. That sentence is unbearable for courts addicted to power by pathos. It is oxygen to adults who want truth to guide mercy. Be alert to your inner court as well. Many men preemptively surrender their standards to prevent the possibility of a scene. That is not love, that is fear of noise. Nietzsche would call it submission to a herd instinct. Appease the weather to avoid the strain of standing. If you live like this long enough, you will grow good at self-accusation. You will read your own boundaries as violence and your own clarity as arrogance. The tears will only confirm the trial you already started against yourself. Ressentiment prefers the stage to the workshop, so drag the moment off stage. Write the rules somewhere both of you can see. We don't escalate past midnight. No threats, no public shaming. Agreements are not relitigated under heat. When tears appear, don't debate the past. Apply the rule that protects the future. Then, after the storm, sit with the pain as long as it needs. You have not refused compassion. You have refused to let compassion become sovereign. You will learn quickly who is with you. Adults will adapt to a world where feelings are honored and rules hold. Those who rely on innocence as leverage will call you cruel. Let the word pass through you. The alternative is a home ruled by weather reports. When a relationship becomes a court, every gesture becomes evidence. You choose work and it becomes neglect. You choose a boundary and it becomes rejection. You enforce a consequence and it becomes abuse. Tears in this setting do not merely express, they prosecute. They recruit an audience, friends, family, feeds, until the only way to be acquitted is to confess to crimes you did not commit and to renounce decisions you had reason to make. Nietzsche would call this a degradation of love into herd morality. Instead of two sovereigns meeting, you get a public referendum on your will. The highest good is inclusion. The greatest evil is boundaries that make others uncomfortable. The cure is a refoundation. Return love to covenant, not court. Covenant is built on explicit promises, renegotiable with consent, enforced with proportion. Court is built on feelings, retroactive charges, and penalties decided in the heat of performance. How to recover covenant when court has taken over? First, end the practice of retrying settled matters under tears. If a standard was agreed in daylight, it cannot be suspended by rainfall. Second, move serious topics to forums that cannot be gamed. Written summaries, scheduled dialogues, third-party witnesses if needed. You are not professionalizing your love. You are protecting it from theater. Third, refuse public litigation. If your bond must be arbitrated by an audience to survive, it has already failed. This stance will draw two kinds of women apart. One will feel safer. She may cry, but she will not try to rule by crying. She will want assurance that pain can be heard without transforming the house into a court. You can give that richly. The other will escalate to preserve leverage, recruit allies, dramatize, punish your insistence on process as heartlessness. Nietzsche would call this appetite for petty power. It is addictive because it works on soft men. Let it fail on you. Your role is not to eliminate tears, it is to de-weaponize them. You hold your partner while refusing to revise the past under duress. You comfort without confessing to logic that isn't true. You repair where you failed, not where the weather blames. When this becomes habit, the courtroom closes. What remains is intimacy that survives emotion, because it is guided by something sturdier than emotion. The paradox appears. Once tears stop governing, they can finally tell the truth. Pain is no longer a tool. It is a message. Love gets its dignity back. Tears in public spaces carry more than feeling. They carry optics. In a culture that treats visible pain as prima facie evidence, a man's reputation can be indicted without inquiry. Nietzsche's realism bites here. The herd judges by the eye. If you expose yourself to courts that pay in spectacle, you are offering your name to economies that do not care to check. Protect your name without becoming paranoid. First, choose your battlefield. Decline debates in forums that reward outrage. Invite conversations to ground where evidence is required and witnesses are present. If someone refuses that ground and insists on crowds, understand the intent. Tears here are not merely pain, they are leverage. Exit the theatre. Second, maintain a ledger. Dates, agreements, steps taken. This is not to stalk your partner with receipts. It is to protect both of you from the fog of heat. When memory warps under emotion, the ledger keeps reality employed. Third, compress your signals. Disorder, lateness, contradiction, gossip, all invite hostile framing. Order, punctuality, coherence, confidentiality. These are your terrain features. They do not make you invulnerable, but they raise the cost of slander. People who needed your looseness to rewrite you will move on to softer targets. What if you are accused nonetheless? Refuse two traps, the counter-spectacle and the total silence. The first drags you into the economy you mean to escape. The second concedes the field to any story that sticks. Respond once, briefly, with facts and process. Offer the forum where things can be checked, then go on with your work. Nietzsche's advice underneath: live in such a way that pattern defends you. One clean statement from a man whose archive is visible outruns 1,000 comments from men whose lives are wind. Also refuse the inner collapse, the shame spiral that makes you beg rooms to like you again. That spiral makes you malleable. It teaches observers that tears can direct your choices. The antidote is quiet devotion to your standards while you remain kind. People who matter learn faster from consistency than from apology tours. None of this denies genuine harm. Real harm should be named, tended, and, if needed, judged. The warning is against the conversion of optics into truth by default. If you live where optics rule, tears become weapons because they work. Build elsewhere. Nietzsche is misread as an advocate of stone. He is an advocate of strength that can afford tenderness. The answer to weaponized emotion is not indifference. It is procedure that protects feeling without letting it govern. Set the rules while calm. State them simply. Enforce them without theater. Within that frame, be lavish with care. Start with time. No midnight trials. Exhaustion makes tyrants of all of us. Set a window for hard talks when both brains can think. Continue with place. No public prosecutions. If tears come, they are safe from audience. Then scope. Stay with one event, one agreement, one repair. Courts love to bundle. Covenant loves to focus. Finally, consequence. If a line is crossed, the result is known in advance. You do not invent penalties under pressure, and you do not buy peace by suspending law. During tears, practice two sentences. I see that you hurt. This honors the person. Then, we will keep the rule. This honors the house. If the response claims your rule is the hurt, slow down. Ask what rule would protect both of you in the future. If the proposal only protects one, it is not a rule, it is leverage. Decline it without malice. Between storms, cultivate rituals of safety that are not contingent on outcomes. Daily courtesies, private check-ins, shared chores, regular touch. When people feel held in the ordinary, they need courts less in the extraordinary. You are not bribing. You are building a climate where tears can be tears instead of tools. Hold yourself to the same frame. If you cry, and you will, refuse to rule by it. Tell the truth about your pain, then ask for what is actionable. Do not recruit crowds. Do not indict character when a decision displeases you. You are showing the standard you expect to receive by how you use your own suffering. Nietzsche's integrity is contagious. Homes bend toward the law they see lived most consistently. This is how compassion grows teeth. The most loving thing you can do for emotion is to make it safe to feel because it cannot seize the house. Then you can stay when it storms without surrendering the helm. The end is not a fortress against feeling. It is a home where feeling doesn't dethrone truth. Nietzsche's call is to love up, toward what strengthens both of you, rather than down, toward what buys quiet by making you smaller. Tears are part of human music. They become warfare when they purchase exemption from consequence or compel others to carry weight they did not choose. Commit to a different economy. Select partners who can cry without ruling, who can argue without prosecuting, who can accept consequence without rewriting history. Be that partner yourself. Replace the thrill of dramatic reconciliation with the calm of reliable repair. Replace the adrenaline of public scenes with the quiet honor of private apologies. Replace the game of optics with the grind of outcomes. In such homes, tears regain their meaning. They mark thresholds crossed, griefs that matter, joys too big for laughter alone. They do not signal a power grab. You will lose some rooms by living this way. People who depend on leverage will call you rigid. People who prefer noise will call you distant. People who recruit audiences will call you controlling when you shut the theater. Accept the losses. Watch what replaces them. Partners, friends, and colleagues whose first instinct is responsibility, not performance. Your own nervous system will change. Decisions will stop feeling like accusations. Boundaries will stop feeling like violence. Kindness will stop feeling like a bribe. The irony is simple. The less you are ruled by tears, the easier you are to cry with. Because truth holds, your hands are free. Because standards stand, your heart can open. You can hold pain that would drown a house without having to become a liar to keep the roof on. This is adult tenderness, steady, fierce, unafraid of weather, because it remembers the map. You made it to the end. That already marks a man done being steered by spectacle. If this named the moment your judgment keeps tipping and gave you a way to answer it, break the wall. Write in the comments below the one sentence you will live this week that keeps compassion and the rule in their right seats. Like this video and share it with a brother who keeps losing decisions to optics, and subscribe if you want philosophy with teeth. Remember, Nietzsche's charge is blunt. Honor tears, refuse their throne, and love in a way that strengthens the house you are sworn to keep.